with others, keeping in mind your relationship with Allah as paramount will then increase you and improve you in the relationships that you have with others. And as we improve our relationships with others, then we create a more peaceful and reverent society. Because if everybody is striving to that goal of being more pleasing to their Lord, then everything gets better, and that's a part of the bounty that Allah has promised us, inshallah. And so again, we thank you, we appreciate your attention, and be on the lookout, inshallah, for the next in this series in December. Yes, the next. We can do that in it. So we'll open it up for questions, inshallah. Comments? Yes. So are you talking about with the father? Okay, so when he helped the daughters water their sheep, their flock, and so when they told their father about him, so he met with the father, and the father said gave him an agreement that if he worked for them or the family for 7 years or something like that, 8 years, he would give him his daughter, but as a mercy, you can extend it 2 more years. So yeah, his dowry was. So I guess it's his daughter. I didn't think of it as.
Oh, I didn't realize that was his dowry. I mean, he worked. So that was his dowry to work for him for 8 years. I didn't realize that.
You laughing too hard.
I didn't know that was a condition. I just thought that was like him staying there. Right.
Yeah.
That was smart. It was intelligent. Look.
So when you say what do you think about that? What do you mean?
Look, whatever he would have built in that time, it would have been his daughter's anyway. So I mean, it was an investment. It was an investment, long-term investment.
So I guess for me, the answer would depend on the perspective that I'm looking at it from. Mm-hmm. So if I'm looking at it from the daughter who ended up marrying him, I would look at it as this man worked for 8 years to get me, and, maybe I was worth it, or he valued me in a way that I would find endearing. If I was the father thinking about him accepting that proposal, I don't know which one he accepted, whether he did the longer of the 2 times proposed. He did the longer. Okay, so that even strengthens my argument. It would make me more comfortable marrying him to my daughter, because I would feel that he was sincere, and that he was a man of his word, and that he was a hard worker, and that he valued or respected the modest provisions that I had.
And then for me, I would look at it from the perspective of marriage is a commitment, and that a person willing to invest in anything. So like if you're married to your community, you invest in your community. If you want to be married to an individual, you're going to invest in them. So for me, that dowry is way more valuable than someone dropping a lump of cash down and saying your daughter is worth 10 dinar, right? Like, ooh, or 10,000. I don't know how to measure that out, right? So like Salima was saying, a husband, my conversions ain't, right. I only went to Mexico. Y'all only been to Mexico. Okay, so as Salima was saying, the fact that a husband, before getting a wife, is willing to commit his life, invest his life, and not just for the woman, but giving something that will get him not just a wife, but would develop that family, would develop that community. So I'm looking at it like big picture, like a man committing to not just a woman, but a community. They're going to invest in it. They're going to commit to it. And they're going to give more, and it's going to exhaust the minimum requirement. It's going to go bigger than the 7 years, 7 years in one day, I'm done. Right? It's like it's a long-term commitment. Like marriage is a long-term commitment. Like community development is a long-term commitment. And so I think that's a fabulous dowry. I think that's so yeah.
I didn't realize that was his dowry. I was looking at it from the aspect of Moses. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I was looking at it as a blessing from Allah because Moses was out on his own and he didn't have nowhere else to go. Because I was like, Allah hooked you up, brother. like he got you a wife, you know. So that's how I looked at it. But now that you're thinking about it like that way, I'm like, okay. It was wise, I feel like, on the man's part, so he could see what type of man, what kind of character he had, you know, if he even really wanted to continue, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, 4 years in, I'm not really, you know, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of character you have. So I think it was, I just think, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was, that's what I thought. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Right. 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 You say he has good character. Yeah. Mhm. I don't know. I mean, I don't. Look, you talking about during then? You can't. I mean, I don't know. I can't say nothing. Look, I'll leave it to defer to Elijah. Let me let you handle that.
One of the books that I got when I was in a solo student at Rollins College, it's very similar to Rollins College, and she wrote a book called Surrendering to God, Understanding Islam in the Modern World, Dr. Katara. It's a wonderful book. It kind of goes into more detail about everything that we talked about in terms of relationship between creator and creation. And then when I was 2007, I received this book, Beautiful Commands of Allah. Whenever I would take my son to school every day, I would read him. It's about to fall apart. One of the commands of Allah, because we had a tough teacher's age. The kindergarten was rough for us, yeah. And our kindergarten teacher, Miss Coleman, was awesome. But Miss Klein wasn't so nice. And when I tell y'all that my son, Carl, he would be in school, he would come home, he wouldn't be able to, I just don't like the way she makes me feel. He couldn't verbalize it. And I was devastated because my son did not like going to school, and I was hurt, and I started thinking about it. But my friend Amina told me that what you do at home is going to have a greater effect on who he becomes than what anyone else does out in the street. And she directed me back to working on myself as being his mom, and so I would read this to him. But anyway, it's just to pull out specific verses from the Quran that are commands, things that you are commanded by Allah to do, and as we talked about, the natural benefit of it, the inner peace that comes with it, the natural consequences. So the beautiful commands of Allah, it's written by women. And the only reason it's written by women is only because it's written by women. And then this book, written by man, no, given to me by man, not he is now passed away, my father, Brother Carlos Salahuddin, and his wife, Sister Patricia, as the Igdib, and it's Dying and Living for Allah. It's the last will and testament of Quran Murad, and this is a book that he wrote prior to passing away when he was ill, and it's a wonderful book. But it puts everything in perspective, and one of the things that we were kind of leery of is putting that overcast, that negative over, you're going to die. You better get right because you're going to die. But in all honesty, I was telling my sister this morning that I sometimes have paralyzing anxiety about my parents or my sister or my husband or my children dying. Like I visualize it happening and I can't they're temporary, and it colors every interaction, and it makes you kind of like I'm hard on myself. Like I was fussed this morning on my son. I'm thinking, what if that's the last conversation I had with him? Was me fussing him about unloading that dishwasher? I got mad at my niece because it's down the store line, and I waited in line yesterday, and I could not get passports because he put my son's name instead of my name, and I had to make a whole move anyway. So, you know, you learn to put everything in perspective. And I know I've been trying to make light of stuff, but it's really heavy. And
So the next topic is the rights of the husband and the wife.
I'll be in the audience. I'll be in the audience for that one.
To protect what we would have you guys.
I love my and Joy Jots is an exercise for a happy heart. Samara Gray, she was a presenter at the workshop we went to last weekend at literary conference, and it's different exercises and activities. I have it in the open list again.
And I would yeah, understand. I googled it and it popped up. I did Google the name Al Mujib and it popped up. I just recognized the website though.
UnderstandQuran.com.
Understand Quran.
In our Halaqa, which meets the second either understanding or
Just Google one of the 99 names of Allah and it'll pop up.
But
Then you
we
can
use
get
that particular resource in our Halaqa, which meets the second and fourth Saturday of every month from 7:30 to 9:30 roughly. We use that as a resource to study
99.
it's a we really enjoy the way they present it.
Yeah, that's where I got Al Mujib from in my research. I would encourage everyone to do your research, like the study. Like I was talking about how you get the Disney Channel versions of the prophets. I would encourage everyone to do your research on what the Quran says about the stories of the prophets. And then, because the Quran, it doesn't give you everything, and a lot of times, what the scholars say is that the reason why I don't give you everything because a lot of it's already known, like from other books, like the Torah, the Zabur, the Psalm, book Psalms, things of that nature. And so, like you can fill in, well, some websites will have it filled in for you. So, what you can also get like Maududi to just get tafsir, to get just a bigger picture of what's going on, and you try to stick to the fact. I mean, look, they're gonna have a whole bunch of stuff inside there, so you're gonna have to know how to sift, focus on the important stuff, but just to get the general idea of what is going on. So that's just my resources that I use to do the research, and just random Google searches. Yes, I believe in shake Google. Yes, but go to legit sites. Don't go to no crazy sites. You know what I'm saying? Like go to and then check the Quran. Go to the Quran. I had to do that a couple of times too. Like because they'll have different. And so like sometimes when they have like inflammatory words, right? You might want to go check different Quran. So like I found that in my research it was like, okay, what? And so then you have to go in the Quran and you're like, oh, okay, this makes. So it's like it'll say, I don't know. And then it's like, well, just reach the goal. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes more sense, So that's what I used to do research. But anybody having questions about what we talked about? Mutual rights, the idea of, anybody had the idea of ever thought about what rights we have over God? Because I know I think you were the one who put it out to me. I was like, we got rights over God? It's like, I said it to Elijah, and he looked at me crazy too. And I said, I haven't researched it yet, but I'm just saying it's like interesting, right? You never even thought about that before, right? So I'm just curious to see what it says, So, but we don't have rights, but we have promises. Alhamdulillah. So it was even better.
So if there are no questions, just as a housekeeping, so we do, there's a sisters-led Talim at this masjid. There's a sisters-led Talim at this masjid